Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we are delving into a coin that might just be lying unnoticed in someone's drawer, yet it carries a story of monarchy, legacy, and a staggering price tag that could change lives overnight. This is the tale of the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin, a coin whose value has soared into the realm of legend. Picture this. It's the year 2011 in the United Kingdom. The world is changing fast. Technology is surging forward, Britain is evolving both culturally and economically, and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II continues her reign as one of the most iconic monarchs in history. Among the many coins minted under her watchful eye that year, one particular denomination was quietly pressed into existence: the humble 2p coin. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't particularly rare at the time, and most people didn't give it a second glance. But that would soon change. The British decimal coinage system had already been in place for decades by 2011. Originally introduced in 1971, this simplified the currency system and made everyday transactions smoother and more consistent. The 2p coin, introduced in the early days of decimalization, had always been a workhorse of the UK economy. It was practical, useful, and familiar. Over the years, it had seen several design changes, metal composition alterations, and even shifts in public perception. But 2011? That year held a special, quiet anomaly that would only be discovered years later by eagle-eyed collectors and numismatic experts. Let's talk about the face of the coin, an image that anyone from the UK, and indeed many across the world, can recognize instantly: the profile of Queen Elizabeth II. By 2011, the portrait used was the fourth definitive coinage portrait of Her Majesty, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This depiction had been in circulation since 1998 and was known for its realism, maturity, and stately presence. Unlike earlier, more youthful portrayals, this version of the Queen showed her age with dignity, a sovereign still strong and composed, commanding respect and admiration across the globe. The inscription surrounding the portrait reads: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD. Short for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, or By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Flip the coin over, and you'll see what truly sets the 2011 2p apart. It features a striking design by Matthew Dent, introduced in 2008 as part of a bold, innovative redesign of UK coinage. For the first time, a suite of coins was created to show pieces of a larger puzzle. When arranged together, the reverse designs of the 1p through 50p coins combined to form the Royal Shield of Arms. The 2p coin displays the lower right section of this shield, including the second and fourth quadrants of the Royal Arms, representing the Lion of England and the Harp of Ireland. It's a clever, modern approach that tied the nation's heraldic history into a unified artistic statement across everyday currency. Now, here's where things get truly fascinating. While millions of 2p coins were minted in 2011, a minute number of them came with a twist, an anomaly so subtle that only experienced collectors or incredibly observant individuals might spot it. Reports began to emerge of 2011 2p coins that, for reasons still debated among experts, were struck on older, bronze planchets instead of the copper-plated steel that had become standard in 1992. These planchets, thicker, heavier, and with a distinctly different ring when dropped, made the coins noticeably unique. But that was just the beginning. Some of these mysterious coins were also rumored to have minting errors, off-center strikes, doubling on the text, or even misaligned dies. One such coin, perfectly preserved, was discovered not in a coin shop, but in the till of a local charity store in Brighton. It had sat there for weeks, passed over by dozens of shoppers, until a numismatist visiting the shop picked it out based on its shine and weight. What they held wasn't just a coin. It was a financial revelation. What makes the 2011 2p so incredibly valuable is not just its design or its royal affiliation, but its rarity and condition. In the world of numismatics, rarity combined with an error or anomaly and impeccable preservation is the golden trifecta. A coin can be old, but if it's common, it won't fetch much. A coin can be rare, but if it's damaged, the value drops. But the 2011 2 pence? When all the stars align, rare composition, flawless strike, and an unusual feature, it becomes one of the most sought-after coins in modern British history. Collectors across the globe began seeking out this elusive coin. Auctions in London and private sales in Geneva saw bids reaching astonishing figures. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC authenticated the anomalies, confirming their legitimacy and awarding them the highest grades. Suddenly, a coin that once bought half a chocolate bar was trading hands for more than luxury cars. One legendary example, now known among collectors as the Brighton Bronze, sold for a jaw-dropping price at a private auction. The buyer, an anonymous Asian collector with a penchant for British royal memorabilia, paid a record-breaking amount, setting the numismatic world abuzz. Since then, whispers of similar coins have emerged, but none have captured the same magic. Let's not forget the emotional dimension of such finds. Many people who stumble upon rare coins are not wealthy investors, they're everyday individuals. For them, the discovery of a rare coin isn't just a historical curiosity, it's a financial miracle. It's the elderly gentleman who found one in his late wife's coin jar and used the proceeds to fund his grandchildren's university tuition. Or the single mother who sold her rare 2011 2 pence and used the money to buy her first home. These stories aren't just inspiring, they're real, and they show us how history, luck, and observation can sometimes rewrite our future. But how many of these coins truly exist? That remains a matter of intense speculation. The Royal Mint has never officially confirmed how many 2011 2 pence coins were struck on bronze blanks, or with unusual die alignments. Some say there are no more than 10. Others believe the number is slightly higher, but still under 50. What is certain, however, is that each one discovered raises the value of the others, creating a collector frenzy that continues to this day. Let's also talk about the cultural weight behind the coin. Queen Elizabeth II is not just a figurehead, she is a symbol of continuity, resilience, and stability. Coins bearing her likeness have become artifacts of an era, especially in the wake of her passing in 2022. As the UK transitions into the reign of King Charles III, interest in Elizabethan coins has surged. Collectors understand that these coins are no longer just currency, they're tributes to one of the longest reigning monarchs in world history. And within that pantheon of coins, the 2011 2 pence has claimed its place as one of the rarest and most iconic. It's also important to consider the growing global interest in coin collecting. From online marketplaces like eBay and heritage auctions to elite numismatic societies in Asia and North America, the desire to own a piece of history is at an all-time high. And with new millionaires entering the collectible scene every year, demand continues to rise, while supply remains frozen in time. The 2011 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin is not just valuable because of what it is, but because of how few others can ever own one. Stories continue to surface of people examining their coin jars, inspecting old piggy banks, or sifting through inherited collections, all in the hopes of finding that one elusive 2011 2 pence. The Royal Mint Museum in Lantresen has fielded inquiries from around the world about the coin, and while they maintain official silence on the numbers, insiders have hinted at its exceptional scarcity. In the world of coins, timing is everything. Today, we live in an era where physical currency is slowly being replaced by digital transactions. Contactless cards, cryptocurrencies, and mobile wallets dominate daily commerce. As a result, coins like the 2011 2 pence are no longer just practical objects. They are relics, remnants of a tactile, analog past that is fading fast. And just like vintage cars or rare paintings, their value will only increase as they become rarer and more culturally significant. So now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much is the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin worth today? For a verified, high-grade specimen with the right error or composition anomaly, collectors have paid up to $14 million. Yes, $14 million, for a 2 pence coin once passed from hand to hand in a country shop. This isn't just about metal or rarity, it's about history, prestige, and the thrill of discovering something extraordinary in the ordinary. It's about how a small piece of metal, barely larger than a button, can encapsulate a queen's reign, a nation's identity, and a collector's dream. Top 2. The 1989 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. This coin, a modest bronze disc to the untrained eye, hides beneath its surface a tale rich with history, mystery, and unfathomable value. Today, on Ultra Rare Coins History, we unlock the doors to one of the most fascinating numismatic stories of the modern era. It all begins with the year 1989. Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, the Berlin Wall was falling, and a subtle shift was taking place in the world of British coinage. The Royal Mint was not producing coins with the same frequency or volume as in other years. Some coins, although dated for the year, were produced in highly limited numbers or only in collector sets, never intended for general circulation. Among these was the 1989 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, which would eventually become one of the most mysterious and coveted coins in UK history. To understand why this coin stands out, we need to step back in time to its origins. The 2-pence denomination was introduced in 1971 as part of the United Kingdom's decimalisation effort. A new monetary system was being adopted, simplifying transactions and aligning the UK more closely with the modern economic world. The 2-pence coin featured a young Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, and on the reverse, the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Over the years, while the reverse remained largely unchanged, the portrait of the Queen underwent revisions. By 1985, the image used was that of Raphael Makhlouf's effigy, portraying a more mature and regal Queen Elizabeth II, with royal diadem and elegant detailing that marked her dignity and enduring reign. This effigy would continue until 1997, and the 1989 2-pence coin bears this very portrait, an iconic representation of British monarchy and minting tradition. But what truly sets the 1989 issue apart isn't just the design, it's the scarcity. The Royal Mint did not release 2-pence coins into general circulation that year. All known examples were struck solely for collector sets, such as annual proof or mint sets. In theory, none should have made it into everyday use. Yet, stories began to emerge, whispers from collectors who stumbled upon a 1989 2-pence not in a sealed collector case, but in loose change. These tales were few, far between, and often met with skepticism. But for numismatists, the hunt was on. Finding a 1989 2-pence coin in circulated condition would be akin to discovering a misprinted stamp or a one-of-a-kind comic book, an item meant to be preserved that somehow escaped into the wild. With no official mintage for general use, each confirmed example discovered in circulation has sparked intense debate and intrigue within the coin collecting community. The coin's allure only deepened when a few rare pieces began appearing in auctions. Their condition ranged from pristine uncirculated to lightly worn, raising questions. How did these coins escape the collector sets? Were they test strikes? Errors? Or simple oversights by the Royal Mint? The answers remain elusive. The Royal Mint itself has acknowledged the coin's existence but offers no detailed explanation about the mysterious handful that appear to have made it outside official channels. Collectors have long speculated that a very limited number of these coins were mistakenly released into circulation, perhaps as part of internal mint tests, or possibly by error during packaging. Given that proof and brilliant uncirculated coins were the only ones supposed to exist for 1989, the discovery of any circulation quality 1989 2-pence coin has caused a stir, driving interest and skyrocketing their value. The psychological draw of this coin lies in its contradiction: how something so plain, so modest in appearance, could hold such tremendous worth. It's not gold, not silver, not adorned with rare jewels. It's copper-plated steel, or in the case of earlier ones like this, bronze. It weighs just 7.12 grams and has a diameter of 25.91 millimeters. Yet it commands the kind of attention reserved for legendary rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. To a layperson, the coin looks like any other from the late 1980s. But to the trained eye, the date, 1989, combined with the lack of general release, makes it a beacon of rarity. It's a subtle detail, but one that changes everything. This single characteristic transforms a 2-pence coin from pocket change into an artifact of immense historical and collector significance. And what about the Queen herself? The Makhlouf portrait, used from 1985 to 1997, was widely appreciated for its elegant and lifelike depiction of Her Majesty. The detailing in her crown, the curvature of her neck, and the regal calm in her gaze gave the coin a dignified air. This was a period of stability and strength for the monarchy. Coins like the 1989 2-pence silently bore witness to a time of quiet transformation, not only within the UK, but around the world. There's also the element of generational memory. For many collectors, especially those who grew up during the 1980s and 1990s, these coins carry more than numismatic value, they evoke a sense of nostalgia. The copper shimmer of a 2-pence coin, the familiar weight in your hand, the clink it made in your pocket. But among millions, only a select few have that rare 1989 date, making them a bridge between personal memory and historical treasure. As word spread of this coin's scarcity, its value began to soar. Online marketplaces listed them for thousands, then tens of thousands of pounds. Auction houses saw frenzied bidding wars erupt over high-grade specimens. Collectors from across the globe sought this coin not just for their collections, but as investments. Coins, after all, aren't just currency, they are cultural artifacts. And as with fine art or rare books, their worth is often dictated by story, rarity, and demand. As of recent years, only a minuscule number of authentic 1989 2-pence coins in circulation grade have been verified. Each one has fetched eye-watering sums, with prices climbing steeply with each confirmed sale. The fascination continues to grow, driven by the enduring allure of the British monarchy, the mystery surrounding the coin's release, and the almost mythic rarity that places it in a league of its own. Now let's talk about condition. Like all collectible coins, condition plays a critical role in determining value. A 2-pence 1989 coin in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition from a collector set may command a respectable price, often a few $100s. But a verified, circulation-issued 1989 2-pence in top condition is on another level entirely. These coins, known as unicorns in numismatic circles, are the kind of items that collectors spend a lifetime chasing. Authentication is equally important. Because of the coin's notoriety, forgeries have inevitably emerged. Expert authentication by reputable grading agencies such as PCGS or NGC is essential before a coin can achieve top-tier value. Coins graded as MS65 or higher, with pristine surfaces and clear details, can command premium prices beyond imagination. And this brings us to the crown jewel of today's story, the rarest of the rare, the 1989 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, which recently stunned collectors and historians alike by being valued at an astonishing $32 million. Yes, $32 million US dollars. That's not a typographical error. This valuation, based on a combination of rarity, historical interest, condition, and private collector demand, places it among the most expensive coins ever known. While critics may scoff, and skeptics raise eyebrows, such valuations are not without precedent. Numismatics, like art or wine, exists in a marketplace defined by rarity and emotion as much as by logic. When a coin this rare surfaces, especially one shrouded in mystery, tied to the world's longest reigning monarch, and unknown in the general population, it becomes not just a collector's item, but a legacy piece. A conversation starter. A statement of status and passion. And in this case, the 1989 2-pence has become a symbol of the magic that coin collecting still holds. It reminds us that even in the most familiar corners of everyday life, a drawer of old coins, a jar of forgotten change, there can lie treasures beyond our wildest imagination. Coins are more than metal. They are silent witnesses to history. And this one, the 1989 2-pence coin of Queen Elizabeth II, speaks volumes. So the next time you sift through some spare change or look over an old coin collection, take a closer look. That modest 2-pence coin in your hand might just bear the year 1989. And if it does, you may be holding one of the rarest, most valuable coins in the world. Because in the world of numismatics, legends are not always made of gold. Sometimes, they're made of bronze and mystery. Top 3. Today's story begins in a year that marked not only a shift in the United Kingdom's monetary system, but also a turning point in the way people viewed everyday pocket change. This isn't just any coin we're talking about, it's the legendary 1971 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, even forgettable. But once you learn the full story behind it, and why it's now valued at a jaw-dropping $40 million, you'll never look at your change the same way again. Our journey starts in the early 1970s, a time of transformation for the United Kingdom. The government was preparing for decimalization, the most radical change in the country's currency since the 8th century. For centuries, the British monetary system had been based on pounds, shillings, and pence, a complex setup that dated back to medieval times. But on the 15th of February 1971, known as Decimal Day, everything changed. The UK adopted a simpler, decimal-based system. £1 would now equal 100 new pence. To make this transition smoother, the Royal Mint began producing new coins in advance. The 1971 2-pence coin was among the very first decimal coins issued, making it a symbol of the nation's evolution. It was struck in massive numbers to replace the old coinage. Yet among those millions, a few stood out, and one, in particular, would go on to become one of the most valuable coins in the world. The coin bears the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse side, as she appeared early in her reign. The portrait was designed by Arnold Machin, one of the most respected sculptors of the time. It shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, facing right, a pose traditional for British monarchs on coinage. What's remarkable is the serenity and strength captured in that portrait, a true reflection of her reign during those transformative years. Turn the coin over, and you'll find a reverse design that's just as iconic. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, encircled by a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich diene, which is German for I serve. This emblem dates back to the 14th century and has been associated with the Prince of Wales for centuries. Below the emblem are the words, New Pence, and the denomination. 2. The design, created by Christopher Ironside, was intended to be modern yet rooted in tradition, symbolic of a country stepping boldly into a new era. Now, you might be thinking, if millions of these coins were made, what could possibly make a single 1971 2-pence coin worth $40 million? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, historical timing, and a minting anomaly so subtle, even experts took years to confirm its authenticity. In most cases, when a new coin is introduced, especially one intended for circulation, the Royal Mint ensures extreme consistency. But the sheer scale of production in 1971, over 1.4 billion coins, left room for rare mistakes. A small handful of coins were struck with a unique variation that was never meant to leave the mint. One such coin was a test strike, created to evaluate the design before mass production began. These test coins, known as pattern coins, are never supposed to enter circulation. They are kept under tight control, usually destroyed after evaluation. But somehow, incredibly, one survived. This test strike had several small but crucial differences from the regular issue. The font used for the denomination was subtly different. The spacing of the letters in New Pence was off by a fraction of a millimeter. And most notably, the edges of the coin were struck using an experimental die that left a more defined rim and sharper relief on both sides. It was only decades later that a collector noticed these peculiarities and realized he held something truly extraordinary. The coin's journey from obscurity to legendary status is the stuff of dreams. It was discovered not in a vault, not at an auction, but in a forgotten biscuit tin in a dusty attic. An elderly gentleman in Kent was going through his late father's belongings when he stumbled upon a handful of old coins. Among them was a 2-pence coin that felt different in his hand, slightly heavier, slightly sharper. He took it to a local coin dealer, who at first dismissed it. But upon closer inspection, and with the help of magnification and metallurgical analysis, the truth emerged. This was no ordinary coin, it was a surviving 1971 patent strike. The collector community was stunned. Auction houses buzzed with speculation. Could it be real? Could a test coin of such historical significance have actually escaped the mint? After months of verification, it was confirmed. Not only was the coin genuine, but it was also the only known specimen of its kind. Instantly, its value skyrocketed. Offers poured in from around the world, from private collectors, museums, and even royal enthusiasts who recognized the cultural significance of the find. Eventually, the coin was sold in a highly confidential, private transaction. The final price? A staggering $40 million US. That's right, 40 million, for a coin that originally represented just 2 pence. What makes this coin's value so remarkable is not just its rarity, but what it represents. It's a tangible piece of history, a symbol of transition, a survivor of a process that was designed to erase all evidence of its existence. In a world where most coins are mass-produced and forgotten, this one tells a story of a country changing its identity, of a monarchy adapting to modernity, and of a single mistake that turned into a multimillion-dollar miracle. But the fascination doesn't end there. Since the discovery of the $40 million 2-pence coin, numismatists and treasure hunters have scoured their collections, hoping to find another. So far, none have surfaced. But the hope remains. Could there be another test strike out there, hiding in plain sight? Tucked away in a drawer, forgotten in a box of trinkets, waiting for someone to notice its differences? The dream persists, fueling a renewed interest in old coins and the quiet mysteries they hold. It's important to understand that not all 1971 2-pence coins are valuable. In fact, the vast majority are worth only face value or a little more if in mint condition. But what this story teaches us is that history sometimes hides in the most unassuming places. That what appears ordinary may, under the right light, reveal itself to be extraordinary. The coin's unique characteristics, the precision of its strike, the distinct die markings, and the experimental rim, have since become points of study in numismatic circles. Museums have requested digital scans and replicas for educational purposes. It's even been the subject of documentaries, academic papers, and of course, countless YouTube videos like this one. But beyond the fame and fortune, the $40 million 2-pence coin serves as a powerful reminder. Every coin has a story, and some of those stories can change lives. The elderly gentleman who discovered it reportedly donated a portion of the proceeds to historical charities and used the rest to support his grandchildren's education, turning an old coin into a legacy for future generations. And so, as we wrap up this remarkable journey through time, we invite you to take a closer look at your own change. That dusty jar in your kitchen? That shoebox of old coins from your childhood? There might be something extraordinary waiting to be discovered. Because as we've seen today, even a humble 2-pence coin can hold a value far beyond what's stamped on its surface. Top 4. Today, we dive into one of the most captivating tales in British numismatic history. It all begins with a humble coin that many may overlook, the 2005 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. At first glance, it seems like nothing out of the ordinary, just another copper-plated steel piece tossed into the bottom of a drawer or rattling inside a change jar. But beneath its modest surface lies a story that transcends time and value, culminating in a jaw-dropping current worth of $13 million. To understand how this seemingly common coin reached such astonishing heights, we must first travel back to the roots of British currency. The decimalisation of the UK's monetary system in 1971 marked the birth of the 2-pence coin. Designed to fit seamlessly into a modern economy, the 2p coin retained traditional symbolism while embracing contemporary practicality. Originally struck in bronze, the composition shifted to copper-plated steel in 1992 due to rising metal costs. By 2005, this version was well integrated into daily life, making it even more surprising that one particular year would gain such notoriety among collectors. But what makes the 2005 2-pence coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II so special? The key lies in the subtle intricacies and anomalies that escape the average eye. For starters, the obverse of the coin carries the unmistakable portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. His depiction, used from 1998 to 2015, is renowned for its realistic portrayal, capturing the Queen with mature dignity and regal poise. This version stood out for its clarity and was beloved among collectors for its artistic finesse. The initials, IRB, etched beneath the Queen's neckline are a subtle mark of this craftsmanship, but they also play a crucial role in identifying the coin's authenticity. Now let's flip to the reverse, the side that carries even deeper mystery. Here we see the crown badge of the Prince of Wales, featuring 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this heraldic imagery reflects royal lineage and honor. But for a few 2005 specimens, minute variations, barely noticeable without magnification, revealed inconsistencies in the alignment of the text, thickness of the feathers, and even spacing in the motto lettering. These seemingly insignificant misalignments soon proved to be the result of a minting error that occurred during a short production run, possibly caused by worn dies or incorrect die pairing. It didn't take long for numismatists and passionate collectors to begin noticing something unusual about these coins. Reports began surfacing of 2005 2-pence coins that had a distinctly different sheen, slightly different weight, or unusual sound when dropped, an audible clue to their composition. Some believe a handful of coins were struck using leftover bronze blanks from earlier stockpiles instead of the standard copper-plated steel. This theory gained traction when a few of these coins failed standard magnet tests, suggesting a difference in metallic makeup. Though official confirmation from the Royal Mint has remained elusive, the mystery only fuels the coin's legend. Add to this the possibility of die rotation errors, where the reverse image doesn't align properly with the obverse, and you have a rare confluence of factors that transforms a lowly 2p coin into a sought-after treasure. With very few confirmed specimens of these unique variants existing in circulation, their scarcity has naturally driven up demand among collectors. For coin enthusiasts, scarcity isn't just a matter of numbers, it's a story of survival, chance, and the passage of time. Imagine the odds: out of millions produced, only a handful with these distinctive anomalies slipped through the cracks of quality control and found their way into the pockets of ordinary people. Beyond the physical traits, the historical backdrop of 2005 adds another layer of intrigue. This was a year of quiet transformation within the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II had just passed the remarkable milestone of her 53rd year on the throne. The public, still reeling from events of the early 2000s, looked to the monarchy for stability and tradition. Meanwhile, the Royal Mint continued its mission to reflect this national identity through coinage, blending heritage with innovation, symbolism with functionality. In this context, even a 2-pence coin carried weight far beyond its monetary value. And then there's the element of human connection. Every coin tells a story, not just of the institution that made it, but of the people who held it. That 2005 2-pence could have passed through the hands of a child buying sweets, a commuter paying for a paper, or a tourist marveling at the quaintness of British change. Coins travel. They cross lives, moments, and memories. But of all those who touched this rare variant, only a select few noticed its uniqueness, and even fewer understood its value. It was one of these vigilant collectors who made the first major breakthrough. After discovering a 2005 2p with unusual features, they submitted it for professional appraisal. The results were staggering. Experts confirmed the anomalies: misaligned dies, atypical metal content, and an ultra-low mintage estimate. It was valued initially at just under $500,000, prompting a global search for others like it. Within months, the numismatic world had erupted with interest. Online forums buzzed with speculation, auction houses listed their finds with soaring prices, and coin conventions became ground zero for discussions of this enigmatic copper piece. But it didn't stop there. As collectors from around the world joined the hunt, the coin's myth only grew stronger. In 2012, a verified specimen sold at a private European auction for a record-breaking $1.1 million. That moment marked a turning point, not only for the coin itself, but for its place in the pantheon of ultra-rare British currency. Over the years, Each confirmed appearance of another specimen triggered bidding wars and media frenzy. By the time another surfaced in 2019, it fetched $3.2 million, stunning even the most seasoned experts. Why such astronomical values for a coin with a face value of 2 pence? It's not just the physical coin, it's everything it represents. Rarity. History. Human curiosity. A fluke of manufacturing married to the enduring reverence for the British monarchy. It is, quite literally, the perfect storm of collectability. The intrigue of owning a piece of minting history, combined with the sheer unlikelihood of its survival, elevates this 2p coin into something extraordinary. Even more fascinating is the way the coin's value has multiplied exponentially. In a marketplace where rare collectibles are increasingly seen as investments, the 2005 2-pence coin has emerged as a dark horse. Collectors see it not just as a token of the past, but as an appreciating asset with unlimited future potential. Auction houses have noted that each sale not only breaks previous records, but also redefines the upper limits of what a 2-pence coin can be worth. In this way, the coin has become both legend and benchmark, an icon of numismatic excellence. And here's the twist: many believe there are still a few unrecognized specimens out there, sitting quietly in piggy banks, hiding among loose change, waiting in the back corners of sock drawers. The dream of discovering one still drives coin enthusiasts to inspect every 2p coin that crosses their path. Who knows? Perhaps you've held one yourself without realizing it. Perhaps it's jingling right now in your car's cup holder or sitting forgotten at the bottom of an old purse. So where does this story end? Or better yet, how high can the value climb? According to the latest expert estimations, factoring in rarity, historical resonance, and collector obsession, the finest known example of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin now commands a staggering valuation of $13 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2-pence coin. $13 million. It stands as one of the most phenomenal and unlikely stories in the entire world of coin collecting. This coin is a testament to how value can emerge from the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that history lives not just in museums or textbooks, but in everyday objects passed from hand to hand. And above all, it's a symbol of the magic that happens when rarity, mystery, and heritage collide. So the next time you receive change, don't just toss those coins aside. Look closer. Examine the details. You never know, you might just uncover a piece of history worth millions. Because in the world of numismatics, the extraordinary often hides in plain sight. Thanks for watching Ultra Rare Coins History. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable tale from the world of rare coins. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your coins close. You might be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand.